Hi, it's Abigail Williams from the Salem Witch Trials, and this is my WIRED Autocomplete Interview. Oh my god, I just hope there's nothing profane in this. I feel like I'm always just getting the nastiest, dirtiest messages, and I just hope no one really thinks those things about me or like wants to do those things to me. Number one, who is Abigail Williams? I mean, I am a generational talent, a holy, pious Puritan. I am the face that's launched 1,000 ships. I would call myself a hero, honestly. I'm a hero. I have saved countless lives from the clutches of witchcraft, and I have made a name for myself. I'm a self-made woman, and I think that a lot of people should be really jealous of that because that's hard to come by in this day and age. It's hard to find someone who has worked their way up from the bottom and become someone like myself. I feel eternally grateful for all of the people and Satan for helping me get here because I couldn't have done it without them. So this one goes out to you, to him, and to me. Next question. Is Abigail Williams a witch? That's misogyny. I've said this a million times. You can't just go around calling people witches. I have never in my life partaken in witchcraft. I have never done anything that the Bible wouldn't advise. And that's my specialty, is just focusing on the good, bringing the good to me, and spreading the good out to others like a disease. Have I mistakenly joined a few seances? Who hasn't? Have I accidentally summoned spirits from beyond? Of course. I'm a teenage girl, we all have. Have I signed my name in the Devil's Black Book like John Proctor? It's debatable. I haven't seen any proof, so I mean, I can't for sure say yes or no to that question legally. Have I accused the innocent of witchcraft from time to time? We all make mistakes, don't we? Don't we, John Proctor? Don't we? So to call me a witch just feels incredibly invasive, it feels incredibly demeaning, and it feels demoralizing. So I would actually probably just say, no, I am not a witch. I would never do such a thing. Next question. What was Abigail Williams doing in the woods? I was in my room that night. I was praying like I usually do. And I was just saying my prayers. I was just being the moral, upstanding citizen I was born to be, and I heard some commotion from out in the dark woods. And I feared for a lot of people there because I knew that my idiot little cousin Betty was susceptible to the dark arts. And I also knew that John Proctor was encroaching like a shadowy mass of big pores and split ends. And I couldn't let Betty fall victim to her evil ways, so of course I went into the woods to look for my little cousin. And what to my wondering eyes should appear but a large cauldron, a crucible, if you will. I was trying to diffuse the situation. I was trying to put out the light under that cauldron. I was blowing as hard as I could. I tried to stop them from beheading that chicken, and it was an accident that that chicken's blood ended up in my mouth. That was not on purpose, and I think anyone there would tell you that because those girls are my best friends in the whole world. Yeah, and then, so at that point, people started disrobing. I am a girl's girl. I'm not gonna slut shame. I let those girls do what they had to do. I was letting them celebrate their bodies. If I tried to police a woman's body, I'd be as bad as Reverend John Hale. And I'm nothing like that beast. So yeah, I was in the woods to fight for what's right and fight for God. And people tend to mistake that for something dark and wicked, but the only thing wicked about me is my love for Broadway. Next question, why did Abigail Williams drink blood? Yeah, I drank blood. I also drink ashwagandha. I've also had a matcha before. Like, is that a criminal offense suddenly? Like, where are we drawing the line here between what's morally good and morally bad? It worries me because that line is ever changing and it's blurring. And I can't allow that to happen because I live in moral purity. Next question. How did Abigail Williams meet John Proctor? So, as embarrassing as this is to admit, I was working a job at this point in my life, an actual job with hours, and that's humiliating, but I was doing it. And I was actually the housekeeper for John Proctor and his troll doll, the wife Elizabeth. And you know, I took care of those kids. I took care of that home. And I certainly took care of John. And Elizabeth Proctor, that disgusting wench, would ride me so hard every single day. She wanted me scrubbing floors. She wanted me to dust. She was asking me to polish silver. That's profane. That's disgusting. I would never stoop so low as to do manual labor, and I was not born into a life to do something like that. I had to just put up with it until I couldn't any longer, and then she claimed she fired me. My story is I quit. I'm an independent person. I quit on my own. Not to mention that creature wouldn't show up to church on Sundays. I mean, I don't want to say anything, but I think you can infer what I'm talking about. She was absolutely demonic. Anyway, that's how I met John. Next question. Why did Abigail Williams live with her uncle? Crazy story, actually. So I am 13 years old. I'm living in a small colony north of Salem. I'm having the time of my life. I wake up one night, middle of the night, parents bludgeoned to death. Bludgeoned. To make matters worse, I get sent down to Salem to live with my far-right extremist uncle, Reverend Paris, and his aesthetically challenged daughter, Betty. Next one. Abigail Williams' feet. Oh my God, that's disgusting. That's like so gross that someone would Google that. Like, what like pig would Google something like that? Like, who's thinking of me like that? Like, that's so crazy. Can we like search the IP of who did that? Like, I just like, that's gross. Like, ew. Like, I don't even like show my ankles. Like, who would want to see something like my feet? That's so disgusting. Can you check who it was? Like, is there a way to find that out? Like, I just like I don't think we should even like let that person walk the streets. Like, that's really nuts to me. I feel like we should just like get to the bottom of who searched that and then like give me their address. Just I just feel like I should investigate that by myself, like in a room in which there are no others. You know what I mean? Okay, next question. Did Abigail Williams see the devil? I hate this question. We only got drinks a few times. We never officially dated. He's definitely introduced me to a lot of my friends, and I'm grateful for that. However, I wouldn't consider him pivotal in my career nor my success. I think I'm a pretty self-made person. He was a great instrument in achieving my desires. And I'll leave it at that because I know he's always listening. I'll see you soon, babe. Last question. Where did Abigail Williams run away? So immediately following the events of the Crucible, I found myself on a large boat. And that boat took me and 3,000 pounds of grain to France. Little did I know at that time in France, it was kind of the best time to be alive in some ways. There were parties every single night in Versailles. King Louis XIV was in charge at this point in France. He was obsessed with me. I'm like a gay guy magnet. Like, I'm such a hag. I had an amazing time in France until, lo and behold, Little Miss Devil shows up and causes another witch trial. I had to get out of there as fast as I possibly could. I get on another boat in France. That boat is taken over by pirates. I end up on a pirate ship for 6 years of my life. My skin was never tanner. My curls were never beachier. My body was never thinner. I looked amazing on that boat, honestly. Unfortunately, that boat took us to Tortuga in the Caribbean. In Tortuga, I ran into an old friend, Tituba, and Tituba actually, she got my ass back to Salem like that. And that was an unfortunate period of my life where I had to actually return to the mess I had created. There were some hijinks and mayhem, and the ghost of Giles Corey visited me several nights for a year. This is the point in the story where I meet some vampires. I end up spending some more time in Europe at that point. Watch a few wars go past at certain points. My Saturn return was really important to me. Poppers. Mary Warren asked to borrow my straightener. Then I discovered electricity, but I gave that one to Ben Franklin. They asked me if I could shoot Lincoln. I had shin splints from Pilates, so I said no. We were hooking up when the boat hit the iceberg. She's consuming so much colloidal silver, her skin turns blue. I really tried to be the mediator between those two girls, but Sarah Jessica just wouldn't listen. And that brings us to today. And that actually brings us to the end of the interview. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Wired for having me. Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this installment of my publicized mental breakdown. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button for immediate posting. I'm really online when I post something, and I like seeing all the divas and the girls pop in and let me know how they're feeling about my latest video. So press that bell button and get notified. Otherwise, you can follow me on Instagram at Joe Hedges, JoeHeggyes. One day I won't take off the wig. One day I'll look normal doing these. Until then.